You can get anything you want out of life as long as you help people get what they want. So if you help people get what they want, they'll help you get what you want. If collaboration is our main model, then trust is the lifeblood of collaboration. What are we here to do? We're here to explore the principles of influence, especially as hypnotists. In other words, we're interested in influencing both the conscious and, more importantly, the unconscious mind as part of what we do. Now, we're going to have a system for both styles of influence because together is where they are the strongest, right? Now, there's many different influence models out there, guys. There's the power model, and like the two key distinguishing models for influence are power and collaboration, right? Power is, how can I get you to do something? That's the kind of authority model. The yell and shout. I'll use my status, my position, my resources, and because you want access to them, somehow you have to do something for me. That's an okay form of influence. But I much prefer the collaboration model, especially for the long-term view, right? Because the collaboration looks at the win-win sort of idea. And if you are winning, well, then you're going to keep on winning, right? I can't remember who it was. I think it was Zig Ziglar or Dale Carnegie, or someone in that vein said something on the lines. I think is a very insightful quote on influence, which is, you can get anything you want out of life as long as you help people get what they want. So if you help people get what they want, they'll help you get what you want. That is the essence of the collaboration model in action. And that's really what we want to be exploring here. Does it matter that I'm a complete novice? No, we're going to be starting from scratch, right? You're in the same place as pretty much everyone else is here. Look, I want to call this brand new content, but it's not entirely brand new. I'm pulling together the core themes from a number of different courses to give you a really clear, simple, practical, and hugely robust method of influence, something that you can turn on and use on a daily basis. What I want to do now is give you a really simple three-pronged model that we're going to be using to hang all the information around so that you have a simple, easy strategy inside your mind so you always know what it is you're doing and where you are in the influence process. Here are the three core things we're going to be seeking to do. Number one, we've got to build trust. If collaboration is our main model, then trust is the lifeblood of collaboration, right? So we've got to build that trust so that we can get someone in a collaborative mood. If you're using a different model of influence, for example, a power model, then you might want to go with something like fear, right? But the problem with that is it hasn't got a really good long-term perspective. Fear tends to create irrationality and erratic behaviors. And ultimately, anyone who's used fear long-term has it blow up in their faces eventually, because you can't predict it gets harder and harder to predict people's behaviors when fear is part of that mix, right? So we need to build trust, number one. Number two, we need to gather information, right? We need to gather enough information that we can recreate the client's mind. We're going to create a simulation of the client's mind when it comes to whatever behavior or state of being or beliefs you want them to have, so that you can then use the client's existing reality as a way of shaping the new reality you want for them. So the first step to that is you've got to gather information. You've got to know what's going on inside their mind, so you know what the obstacles are and what the resources are. When you know the obstacles and resources, you can use the resources to diminish their obstacles, and then use those resources to build up the new reality that you need them to have inside, or that they want to get to, right? And finally, step three is you've got to make some kind of an offer, right? You will know exactly what offer to make once you've gathered enough information. If you know everything about a person, what motivates them, what moves them, what excites them, what they want and what they don't want, then it's actually a really straightforward process of influence, because you say, okay, link what they're looking for with what you've got. As soon as those things are linked truthfully, that's the key element, of course. As soon as they're linked truthfully, influence is automatic, because this is the idea of enlightened self-interest. People work in their self-interest as long as they can see that they're working in their self-interest. So as soon as you can link whatever influence piece you're trying to do to their self-interest, well, influence will naturally follow.
If you found this insightful, make sure to subscribe for more fascinating discussions on the power of the mind and hypnosis.